All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the hidden chemistry inside your daily energy supplements. If you're someone who relies on that afternoon energy drink just to get through the day, you're absolutely going to want to pay close attention. We're breaking down exactly how your body processes these stimulants, looking at it directly through the lens of energy drink chemistry and real clinical supplement research. Let's get right into it.
So, if you were to pull apart almost any commercial energy drink can on the shelf right now, you're going to find a legal secret just hiding in plain sight. I mean, we all consume these beverages, right? We completely trust the label. We just assume everything inside is explicitly laid out for us. But, as we're about to see, the standard energy drink label actually contains a massive, completely legal blind spot.
Just take a look at this stark contrast. On one hand, you've got your vitamins, and those are disclosed with exact hard numbers. Why? Well, because vitamins are pretty easy to disclose. But look at the other side, the ingredients that are actually doing the heavy lifting, the guarana, the caffeine, the rhodiola, the ginseng, these constantly get lumped into this super vague category called other ingredients. And here's the real kicker. There are 0 exact milligram amounts listed for them anywhere, literally none. And this isn't just some rare exception, it is standard practice across the whole industry, and yep, it's 100% legal.
So it all boils down to one absolutely crucial question. Are you taking a stimulant dose that you literally cannot verify? Because if those active ingredients are just buried under other ingredients, it means you, the consumer, are flying blind. You're taking a stimulant dose that you simply can't double check. And honestly, just as importantly, neither can the doctor who might be advising you on your health. It's basically a total mystery dose.
Now, this biological blind spot, it sets the perfect stage for a physical collision that we all know as the crash. When you consume this unknown stimulant load, the crash isn't just one single event. It's actually 2 completely separate biological mechanisms crashing down at the exact same time. So let's break these down one by one.
Okay, here's mechanism 1, and it all revolves around a brain chemical called adenosine. Now, adenosine is the chemical that signals to your brain, hey, we're tired. When you consume caffeine, the caffeine essentially just blocks that adenosine. It blocks the tiredness signal from getting through. But, and this is a huge but, while that caffeine is active, the adenosine doesn't just stop being produced. No, it keeps building up in the background, completely unfelt by you. So you feel energized, sure, but that actual physical tiredness, it's accumulating like water building up behind a giant dam.
And then we have mechanism 2, which is sugar. Most of these commercial energy drinks are packed with real sugar, and this creates an entirely separate timeline of fatigue. Here's what happens. The sugar spikes your blood glucose levels. That massive spike triggers a sudden insulin surge in your body to handle all that sugar. And what happens next? Well, that insulin ends up dropping your blood glucose hard. This results in some very real, profound physical fatigue, and it's operating completely independently from that caffeine crash we just talked about.
So put it all together, and this creates the ultimate 2-train collision. Imagine downing a product that's high in sugar combined with a totally vague stimulant load. You are basically setting yourself up to trigger both of these crashes simultaneously. Step 1, the caffeine finally clears out and all that pent-up adenosine floods back onto your receptors all at once. Bam! Step 2, your blood glucose drops hard from that insulin surge. The result is Step 3. This brutal, totally unpredictable combined physical fatigue just hits you like a ton of bricks. And because the original label was so vague, you have absolutely no way to predict when either one of these crashes is coming. Which brings us to a fundamentally different and frankly fascinating approach to all of this. According to Dr. Delane Frazier, he's a doctor of chiropractic who's been practicing since 1998, there's actually a way to reverse engineer this whole problem. And this is where we introduce the TEK brain standard. Instead of hiding behind these vague proprietary labels that just lead to those unpredictable crashes, TEK brain was built in the exact opposite direction. Let's look at exactly what that means in practice.
Just notice the radical transparency in this breakdown here. TEK Brain is designed with rigorous clinical supplement research in mind, and it focuses entirely on disclosure and dose lineage. Every single active compound is explicitly quantified. For example, the combined total caffeine is stated exactly at 94 milligrams. It's not rounded up, it's not hidden behind a blend, it is exactly 94 milligrams. And the sensorial ashwagandha? Exactly 250 milligrams. Now, to put that number into perspective for you, 250 milligrams is actually double the lowest dose validated in the original human trial, so you know exactly what dose you are getting. And honestly, it doesn't stop at just the caffeine and ashwagandha. This TEK Brain full disclosure standard applies across the entire board. You get exact rhodiola amounts, you get exact ginseng amounts, there are absolutely 0 hidden other ingredients. That sneaky loophole that the standard energy drink industry relies on, it is entirely eliminated here. Look, this isn't about claiming to be the strongest stimulant on the market. It's about giving you a precise, checkable map of exactly what's going into your body.
Now, let's pause here for a second because I want to be extremely precise about this next point. Sensoril does not have FDA approval. Why? Well, because no supplement does. That is simply not how the regulatory system works in this country. And in this explainer, we really want to weaponize those compliance guardrails as a sign of pure honesty. Claiming FDA approval for any supplement would be fundamentally untrue, so we are strictly stating the actual regulatory reality right here, no sugarcoating it.
So if it's not FDA approved, what does it actually have? Well, it has what truly matters when we talk about clinical supplement research, a real, verifiable research record. TEK Brain possesses an FDA-reviewed clinical trial number that's known as an IND. Furthermore, there are 16 or more published human studies behind Sensoril. Now that is real data. That is the verifiable science backing up those transparent doses we were just talking about.
You know, I think this quote perfectly summarizes Dr. Frazier's defining clinical ethos. He says, that is the difference, not a bigger claim, a checkable one. And I just love that because it's not about marketing hype. It's definitely not about making wild promises of specific outcomes. It is purely about providing a transparent, verifiable dose that you and your doctor can actually check and fully understand.
Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative question. And I really want you to think about this the next time you look at a label. Are you drinking a stimulant dose you can actually verify? When you understand the chemistry of the crash, the dual mechanisms of adenosine and insulin, and you see this standard industry practice of hiding stimulants, it fundamentally changes how you look at what you consume. So demand transparency. Demand a checkable claim.
And as is required for total transparency, here is the standard disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on energy drink chemistry and clinical supplement research. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and always know exactly what is in your daily routine.